Let me tell you about node by node cooking. Node by node cooking is a style, a culinary style. It is based on a technique, and this technique is synthetic cooking. I will try to explain all this. But beforehand, I have to start from facts. And a fact is that biodiversity is in danger with species that disappear, and it is also a fact that if they disappear, we will not be able to eat them. I'm not judging about eating animals or not. I'm just telling facts. And indeed, the question of biodiversity is not restricted to animals. Plants as well are disappearing. It is also a fact that we have to tackle an energy crisis today. The price of energy is increasing. And because we use energy for cooking, we have to consider this question. But the worst is probably this picture. It's an old picture, a prediction of the population of the world. In 2050, there will be more than 10 billion people on the earth. And we know how to feed 6 billion, but not 10 billion. Indeed, it's 10.4 billion. And the question of food safety is hectic. So we have to discuss this question. We have to take this issue into consideration when we discuss about food. Now, it has been recognized by most academies of the world that the one possibility of increasing the number of people that we can feed is to fight spoilage. In certain countries, 45% of the food is spoiled or wasted. It's not on purpose, of course. It's because of many parameters, but one very important one is because we eat fresh products. And transporting the fresh products from the farm to the cities has a consequence, and this consequence is that these products are damaged, so we cannot eat them. But also the fact that we eat fresh products has another consequence, and this consequence is that we have to drop a part of them. For example, when you have potatoes, we have to peel potatoes because there are glycoalkaloids in the skin, and we have to get rid of the skin. This part is lost. Indeed, in this part, we have nutrients that we could extract, but if we are dealing, culinary speaking, with fresh products, then we have to drop this part. Now, we have to recognize as well that the farmers are very important because they are responsible for the food safety, I mean, producing enough food, but also for landscape and the quality of environment. So it is a big burden on their shoulders, and we have to help them. We have to help them, and one possibility is to help them to fractionate. And what does it mean? It means that you start from an ingredient and you divide into two parts. For example, in this picture, I started from flour with some water. You make a dough, a bowl, and this bowl, you put it into clear water on the left, and you malax it gently, and a white powder is being extracted. It is starch, and finally, in your hands, you have a viscoelastic network on the right. It is gluten. Gluten is it's a mixture of two kinds of proteins, glutenins and gliadins. But the question is, you divided flour into two parts, starch and proteins. This can be generalized, and it is generalized already for wheat, for corn, for milk. So we already have industries of fractionation, and we could do that for carrots, for turnips, for everything. So the strategy is clear. You divide it in two parts, and then you divide it in two parts, and two parts, and two parts, or more, and then finally you get compounds, and they can be pure compounds if you go far enough. This can be done at the farm with existing techniques. And of course, it is important because when we transport, for example, a tomato, it's 90% water, which means that transporting tomatoes means transporting water. And for example, at the entrance of cities in the morning, you have trucks and trucks and trucks. This means energy that is being wasted. This means pollution. It means a lot of risks. And for sure, it is due to the fact that we eat fresh products. So also we have to consider that we could probably cook more efficiently from the energy point of view. And we have to avoid toxicities as well. For example, on this picture on the left, when you roast a chicken like this over the fire, a lot of benzopyrenes, which are cancerogenic products, are deposited on the meat, and they are toxic. So indeed, we have to be more rational about what we do in the kitchen. The worst probably are the barbecues because the smoke is full of benzopyrene. In this picture, I put on the right a design of one of these compounds. And in French, at the bottom, it is said that you can find up to 10 milligrams per kilogram of meat of benzopyrenes. And this has to be compared with the maximum content of benzopyrenes in food products, for example, smoked salmon, which is 5 micrograms, much less. Okay. Also, there is a question about nature. Many people think that nature is very good, but on this picture, I put some plants or plant products that are considered as edible, but indeed they are not so secure. For example, if you consider tarragon, the flavor of it is due to essential oil, and 95% of the essential oil of tarragon is estragol or methylchavicol or 1-methoxy-4,2-propenyl benzene. And this molecule is genotoxic and carcinogenic. And it is very strange that you can find in drugstores the essential oil of tarragon being sold and people using it in spite of the fact that it is very dangerous. So we have to improve. We have to improve from the hardware point of view. It was a question of molecular cooking. So in this picture, we moved from iron pans to stainless steel pans, which is much better. But we can improve in many regards. And finally, when you improve technically, you trigger you generate a new art very often. For example, in this picture, a new art was done from new colors, or a new art in music was done from new instruments. And this is why in 1994 I proposed note-by-note cooking. At that time it was synthetic cooking, but I wanted to have a relationship with art, so I said note-by-note cooking, like the note on the piano. And indeed, the idea is to cook with compounds. So you don't use fish, you don't use meat, you don't use eggs, you don't use vegetables and fruit, you have compounds. And these compounds, we have to explain what it is. But in order to explain what it is, I'm using a comparison with music. On the left, you have the traditional instruments. Okay. On the right, you have the traditional food ingredients. Indeed, there is something similar. When you put your bow on the violin, we hear a sound, and we recognize the sound of a violin. At the right, when you put a carrot into a pan and you cook, we recognize the flavor of a carrot. So it is very similar. Okay. Now, 1 century ago, a French physician and mathematician, Fourier, discovered that any sound is the sum of many elementary waves. And so it was, you can analyze the music in terms of pure waves. On the right, it is the same period. 1 century ago, the chemists discovered that any food is made of compounds. For example, water, cellulose, starch, no, not starch, amylose, amylopectin, proteins, and so on. Okay. So you see, it's the same. It is analysis. But now, later on, there was synthesis. And 50 years ago, using a room full of computers, there was the synthesis of the first music. Today, the price of a synthesizer is $23, which is very cheap, but you can guess what you will find on the right. Synthetic cocaine, of course. Let's start from a carrot, for example. If you are a chemist, when you look at a carrot, you see all these compounds, amino acids, sugar, proteins, and so on. For sure, they are organized in a carrot. But indeed, a carrot is the sum of molecules from certain compounds, edible compounds. Now, imagine that you have these compounds. You could organize them differently in many, many different ways. You can change the color, you can change the odor, you can change the consistency, you can change everything. So you see, there is a lot of possibilities. You can decide for the shape, for the consistency, the color, the taste, the odor, the freshness and pungency, the nutritional properties. You can decide to have what you want. And this is a big continent of possibilities in front of you. Now, you remember that I proposed all this in 1994, but it is only in 2009 that I convinced my friend Pierre Gagnère, a big chef, to be the first to serve a note-by-note dish in a restaurant. It was not very difficult. It was only a question of thinking. For me, it was obvious. You know, when I say, for example, gamma nanolactone, I smell this compound. When I'm saying sodium alginate, I know how to use it. But for chef, it was brand new. And this was why it took us 6 months to design the first note-by-note dish ever served in a restaurant. It was in Hong Kong at the Mandarin Oriental with journalists from all over the world. And this is the note-by-note number 1, produced by Pierre Gagnère, and served at these 2 dinners at the Mandarin. Now, immediately, there were a new tests, for example, with the Cordon Bleu School. It's a culinary school in Paris, but in other countries. And the chef from the Cordon Bleu, under the direction of Patrick Terrien, tried to make note-by-note dishes. So they made a dinner. This is a dinner. Here it is another plate, note-by-note dish, except the basil on the top. And I'm smiling because basil contains a lot of methylchavicol or estragol, the toxic molecules I told you before. Now, here was a raspberry, unfortunately. It was completely useless because we could have made an artificial raspberry, but the chef added this raspberry. And this is another dessert. Now, in 2011, for the International Year of Chemistry, there was a banquet at UNESCO, and there was a note-by-note menu served to VIPs. And for example, this was one of the dish, the idea of an oyster. This is the title of the dish. There was no oyster, of course. This was a wonderful other dish, a soufflé with a Wöhler sauce, a synthetic sauce. Now, on the right, you have a real meat, which is ugly. On the left, you have an artificial meat. And the orange cylinder is not a carrot, it's an orange cylinder, synthetic. Now it was a dessert, and unfortunately they added some real fruits. Now Cordon Bleu again in Paris, 2011, another menu, another dinner. It was blue, again blue. This dessert was wonderful by Chef Patrick de Guigné, and many other countries. For example, Montreal, Canada in 2012. It was a press conference, 150 journalists from Canada, and the dishes were produced by the teachers and their students from ITHQ, the big culinary schools in Montreal. So it was a drink first, very easy to make, now a dish, another dish, another dish, and finally this one. I love this one because it is like a very exciting fish. You know, the consistency was incredible, but of course the flavor has nothing to do with the fish. It was more like a fresh cucumber. Very interesting dish by Ismael Osorio and Eric Ayala Bribuesco. Now back to Paris with David Desplanques at the Crown Plaza Hotel. Now moving to Switzerland with Clément Beuvry from the Mann Company. Mann Company is selling flavorings, and I have to recognize the help of the director or the president of Mann Company, who helped me to develop Note by Note cooking in the beginning. He was very supportive, and I can say that because I don't get any money from them. Now, Copenhagen in Denmark, there was a very funny production of Note by Note meals by groups of two people, one PhD in chemistry and one talented chef. So it was in April 2040. Now another one. And at that time, there was something very exciting. You know, for years, I was asking someone to sell Note by Note compounds, in particular for odors. It's very easy to produce, but I did not want to sell them by myself, and I needed someone who would create a company, make the product, and sell them. And finally, Michael Pontiff in Paris decided to make the company, Ikemusu, and he did very well. Now moving to Poland with Andrea Kamastra. He had a restaurant called Senses, and here are some dishes from the restaurant from Senses. You see, it can be beautiful. It was a very, very good restaurant. Now, today, this restaurant has been replaced by another one called Nuta. Nuta, like note by note. Okay. So, another dish by Andrea Kamastra. Another one here, some desserts. Everything is done compound by compound, note by note. In Alsace, Julien Bins, talented chef in Alsace, in a small village called Ammerschwir. You know, Alsace is at the limit between France and Germany. It is a beautiful country with a lot of wine and good food. And Julien Bins decided to make a 100% note by note dinner that he would serve in his restaurant, and he did it. It took him about 2 months of work in order to produce the dishes. Here is Julien Bins with one bottle from Ikemusu Company. So this is the first dish. The second one, the third one, of course, it's not an egg. It's a reproduction of an egg with a completely different flavor and consistency. Now, this was a very, very exciting dish. The 3-star Michelin chef Jean-Georges Klein was present, and he loved this dish as well. Another one, a dessert, and finally the mignardises. The small macaron that you can see is incredible. Finally, in the end, after the event, Julien Bins analyzed the result, and he discovered that it took him the price of the ingredient was divided by 2.5 compared to a traditional meal, and the time for production was divided by 2. So you see, node-by-node cooking can be very important for the future in terms of economy. Now this was another dish from the meal. And we have a contest. Every year, we have an international contest for node-by-node cooking on a certain topic. And here are some results from competitors. The winner in 2014 was a Belgian chemist, wonderful result, Frédéric Clérambault. Now, in 2015, it was a team from Switzerland, Dawn Guyenne and Pasquale Altomonte. Now, in 2016, Guillaume Ziegler, a chef, he was at that time responsible of the Cordon Bleu in Tokyo, decided to make a synthetic sushi. So there is no fish, there is no rice, but the slice on the top is synthetic, and the equivalent of the rice underneath is synthetic as well. It was served to the Japanese press, and they loved it. In the same year, I was invited to lecture in Greece, and we had a huge lecture with 5,000 chefs from all over Greece. And in the end, the chef, the teachers, and the students from the culinary school Le Monde in Athens decided to make a banquet, synthetic banquet. They were synthetic cocktails and dishes. On this picture, the white sheets are very hard. So don't think that node-by-node cooking would be soft or liquid. You can make the consistency that you want. You can fry, you can use the old techniques, of course, but you have new ingredients. This dish, I'm sorry, because it was absolutely wonderful. But the picture is not very good, because most pictures, I took them in my plate with my small camera, and I'm not a professional in photography. In the end, there was a dessert. It was an imaginary fruit, and you could eat even the seed inside. Very exciting. Singapore, the culinary school at Sunrise organized a node-by-node dinner for ministers, ambassadors, and VIP, the press, billionaires, and so on. So here are some of the dishes. This one is doremi. It's Cantonese node-by-node cooking. Sea of change, longevity. Oh, this one is very, very exciting. The small object on top right is like a beautiful turnip, but with a very different flavor. Now, this one was very successful because it was like a stock or a broth with shark fins, but we did not kill sharks. The consistency was done from ingredients, from compounds. Finally, a dessert, another dessert. And I'm happy to tell you that in the Handbook of Molecular Gastronomy that was published in 2021, there are 3 parts. The first part is for science. The second one is for application of molecular gastronomy in education. But the third part is application of molecular gastronomy in cooking. And in this third part, you have recipes of node-by-node cooking. So now let's finish with this picture. I give you my email. Don't be shy. If you have any question, please ask me. I will be very happy to answer by email. So you see hervé.tis@inrae.fr, and see you soon.